There are times when a simple coin becomes more than just spare change. It becomes a story, a treasure, a rare artifact of history that captivates the imagination of collectors and everyday people alike. The 1988 United States one-dime coin error is one such piece, a coin that most people would never give a second glance, yet in the right circumstances can fetch extraordinary sums of money. To most of us, a dime is simply 10 cents, a coin so small in value and so common in circulation that we hardly notice it. But to those who understand the world of rare coin errors, the 1988 dime carries with it the potential to transform 10 cents into a fortune. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a dime, and realizing it isn't worth 10 cents at all but somewhere between $47,500 and a staggering $132,000. That's not a fantasy, it's a real possibility with the 1988 error dime, and it's what makes this coin such an object of fascination. To understand how a dime could ever reach such incredible value, we need to go back to the basics. The dime, the smallest coin in physical size used in United States currency, has long been one of the most overlooked pieces in circulation. Designed by John R. Sinek, the Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946, introduced to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt not long after his death. By 1988, the Roosevelt dime had already been a familiar part of American life for decades. Its design had become iconic. Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and a torch flanked by olive and oak branches on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Billions of them had been minted over the years, making them one of the most common coins in the nation. Yet within that massive production, something slipped through, something small enough to be overlooked but rare enough to create a legend. The error dimes of 1988 are not immediately obvious. They require attention to detail, sharp eyes, and knowledge of what to look for. In some cases, the errors were die-related, meaning that the dies used to strike the coins carry defects or mismatched elements. There are stories of transitional errors, where design elements from one year accidentally carried over into another, creating dimes that looked slightly different from their peers. In others, misalignment or doubling produced coins with unique characteristics. To the average person, these details might be invisible. To a collector, they are the very things that can mean the difference between a dime worth 10 cents and a dime worth 6 figures. Consider the journey of someone who stumbles across one of these dimes. Perhaps they are sorting through change at the end of the day, dropping coins into a jar, when something about one dime catches their eye. Maybe it looks a little different, or maybe they've heard stories of rare dimes before and decide to take a closer look. They hold it under a light, examine the date, notice something strange about the details, and suddenly realize they could be holding a 1988 error dime. The heart races, the hands shake, and the excitement builds as they consider the possibility. What they thought was worth 10 cents could, under the right conditions, sell for as much as $132,000. That moment of discovery, that transformation of the ordinary into the extraordinary, is what makes the world of coin collecting so addictive. Auctions featuring one of these dimes are unforgettable events. The bidding starts at levels that already seem incredible for a 10-cent coin, thousands of dollars right off the bat. But as collectors recognize the rarity, the competition grows fierce. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. The numbers climb quickly as the auctioneer calls out bids and the crowd feels the energy. By the time it hits 47,500, the atmosphere is electric, but the bids don't stop. The hunger to own one of the rarest dimes in existence pushes the price higher. 50,000, 80,000, 100,000. Then the moment arrives when the final bid lands at $132,000. The gavel falls, the audience applauds, and a single dime has just changed the story of its owner forever. What's remarkable about the 1988 dime error isn't just its value, but the idea that such coins are still out there, still hidden in jars, drawers, and pockets across America. Unlike older rare coins that were pulled from circulation long ago, the Roosevelt dime remains common, and billions of them continue to circulate. The possibility that someone could unknowingly have one of these rare error dimes in their possession makes every dime worth a second look. Could be sitting in your car's cup holder, lying forgotten at the bottom of a backpack, or jingling around in a piggy bank. The thrill is knowing that discovery is possible for anyone. Collectors often say that what drives them isn't just the coins themselves but the chase. The idea that history and fortune could hide in the most ordinary of places keeps them searching. The 1988 error dime embodies this perfectly. It looks no different from any other dime at first glance, but in its subtle errors lies a story of human imperfection and extraordinary chance. Mistakes at the mint are rare, and when they happen, they often slip by unnoticed until much later. By the time collectors discover them, Their rarity has already been cemented, and their value climbs higher with every passing year. Stories of discovery add to the legend. A coin roll hunter spending evenings searching through bank rolls of dimes finds one unusual piece and later confirms it as a 1988-era dime, eventually selling it for enough money to pay off debts or buy a new home. A family sorting through inherited belongings finds an old collection with a 1988 dime error tucked away, later realizing it is worth tens of thousands of dollars. These real-world examples inspire others to look more closely at their own change, knowing that treasures could be hiding anywhere. The appeal of the 1988-era dime is universal. For seasoned collectors, it represents a prized addition to their collection, a piece that demonstrates the complexity and unpredictability of minting. For new collectors, it is a beacon of possibility, proof that even in modern times, rare coins can be discovered by ordinary people. Its story continues to spread because it captures something fundamental about human nature: the thrill of finding value where none was expected. Think about the journey one of these coins might have taken. Struck in 1988, it rolled off the minting press with its tiny imperfection, indistinguishable at first from millions of other dimes. It was bagged, shipped, and entered circulation. Perhaps it was spent at a grocery store, passed as change at a gas station, or used to buy a newspaper. For years it moved quietly through everyday life, its true value unrecognized. Then, one day, someone noticed. That one moment changed everything. What was once 10 cents became a treasure valued at over $100,000. That journey, from ordinary to extraordinary, is the magic that makes this coin unforgettable. The 1988 dime era reminds us that value isn't always obvious. It often hides in the smallest details, the tiniest imperfections, the things most people overlook. That is the essence of collecting, the joy of discovery, the pursuit of something rare and meaningful. Whether a 1988 dime sells for $47,500 or reaches the incredible sum of $132,000, it tells a story of chance, rarity, and human fascination. Every time you hold a dime, remember that possibility. Somewhere in circulation or tucked away in a forgotten drawer, more of these rare coins may be waiting to be found. Could be you who makes the discovery, you who holds in your hand a coin that changes everything. The 1988-era dime is more than just a piece of currency. It is a symbol of hidden treasures, of history, and of the extraordinary potential that lies within the most ordinary things. And it continues to remind us that sometimes the greatest fortunes come in the smallest packages. The 2001 United States one-dime coin error is one of those stories in numismatics that turns something so small and ordinary into an object of fascination, suspense, and almost unbelievable value. For most people, a dime is just 10 cents. It sits forgotten in the corners of purses, falls between car seats, or gets tossed into change jars without a second thought. But the truth is, within the countless millions of dimes struck by the US Mint in 2001, a few remarkable mistakes slipped through. Those mistakes created error dimes so rare and so captivating that collectors are willing to pay staggering amounts of money for them. Imagine holding what you think is an ordinary dime, only to later learn that this tiny coin could be worth anywhere from $40,000 to as much as $113,000. That is the extraordinary reality of the 2001 dime era coin, and it is why collectors never stop searching for these rare treasures. To appreciate why the 2001 dime error is so significant, it helps to think about the coin itself. The dime has carried the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt since 1946, a design created by John R. Sinek to honor the president's leadership and his role in founding the March of Dimes. By 2001, the Roosevelt dime was as familiar to Americans as the Lincoln cent or the Washington quarter. With Roosevelt's confident profile on the obverse and the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, the dime was a symbol of continuity and American resilience. Most 2001 dimes rolled out of the mint perfectly struck, uniform, and unremarkable. But here and there, something went wrong in the process, and the result was coins unlike any others, coins that collectors now fight to own. Error coins are born when the precision of the minting process falters. Planchets might be the wrong size, dies might clash or misalign, or coins might be struck multiple times. These moments of imperfection create coins that are instantly set apart from the millions of flawless ones. In 2001, several varieties of error dimes emerged. Some were off-center strikes, where part of Roosevelt's portrait or the reverse design was cut off entirely. Others were double-struck, giving the coin a ghostly duplicate image. There were also transitional and wrong planchet errors, where a dime was mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for another denomination. Imagine the shock of seeing a Roosevelt dime design on a copper penny planchet or even on a foreign coin blank. These are the types of mistakes that turn heads because they are dramatic, unmistakable, and virtually impossible to duplicate. What makes the 2001 dime error story so fascinating is not just the mistakes themselves, but the sheer value that has been attached to them. Ordinary dimes are among the smallest denominations in circulation, yet these rare 2001 error coins can fetch jaw-dropping prices. In auctions and private sales, some examples have sold for $40,000, while the most remarkable pieces in top condition have reached as high as $113,000. These numbers are staggering for a coin worth just 10 cents in face value, and they create the kind of excitement that spreads quickly in the collecting world. People who would never normally care about coins suddenly find themselves checking their pocket change, because the idea of a fortune hiding in plain sight is simply irresistible. The stories of these discoveries are part of what makes the 2001 dime error so compelling. Imagine someone paying for coffee with an old handful of change, unknowingly handing over a coin that could change their life. Or picture a casual collector sitting at their kitchen table, dumping out a jar of coins, and suddenly spotting something unusual about one particular dime. The thrill of realizing that a tiny 10-cent coin might be worth tens of thousands of dollars is unlike any other feeling, and it's why the legend of the 2001 error dime continues to grow. These are not coins locked away from the beginning in velvet-lined cases or sold exclusively to wealthy buyers. They are coins that entered circulation, passed through countless hands, and then suddenly revealed themselves as treasures hiding in plain sight. When experts evaluate a 2001 dime error, they look at three key factors: rarity, condition, and demand. Rarity comes from the fact that so few error coins from this year exist compared to the millions of standard dimes. Condition matters because a coin that has survived without scratches, dents, or excessive wear is always going to command a higher price. Demand is driven by collectors' fascination with dramatic errors, the kind that make a coin instantly recognizable as something special. Combine these factors, and you have a recipe for extraordinary value. That is why these dimes, tiny as they may be, can reach auction prices in the range of $40,000 to $113,000. It's also worth noting how the 2001 dime error fits into the broader landscape of U.S. coin collecting. By 2001, the state quarters program was already underway, drawing millions of new people into the hobby. Coin collecting was enjoying a surge in popularity, and that meant more eyes on coins of all denominations, including dimes. As collectors scoured their pocket change for rare quarters, some also discovered the surprising existence of rare dimes. The timing of the 2001 errors ensured that when they were found, they received plenty of attention, adding to their mystique and desirability. There is something almost poetic about the idea of such a small coin carrying such a big story. The dime is often overlooked compared to larger denominations, yet here it was in 2001, producing errors that rivaled and even surpassed the value of rarities in higher denominations. It's a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, size doesn't determine importance. Rarity and intrigue do. The 2001 dime error embodies this truth perfectly, showing that even the humblest coin can become a star under the right circumstances. Collectors who own one of these dimes know that they possess more than just metal. They hold a piece of numismatic history, a tangible reminder of the unpredictable nature of the minting process, and a symbol of the extraordinary value that mistakes can create. Each coin carries with it the story of its creation, the long journey through circulation, and the moment it was finally recognized for what it truly was. This story is what keeps demand high and ensures that these coins remain prized possessions in any collection. For everyone else, the story of the 2001 dime error is an invitation. It's a reminder to look more closely at the coins that pass through your hands every day. Because while the odds are slim, they are not impossible. History has proven that treasures can and do hide in the most ordinary places. Somewhere, in a forgotten jar of change or in the bottom of a drawer, another 2001 error dime might still be waiting to be found. For the person who discovers it, that 10-cent coin could suddenly transform into a treasure worth between $40,000 and $113,000. That possibility alone is enough to keep people searching, enough to spark excitement every time a dime clinks into your palm. The 2001 dime error is not just a coin. It's a story of chance, rarity, and the endless fascination humans have with hidden treasures. It's proof that even the tiniest details matter, and that sometimes the smallest objects carry the biggest surprises. And as long as people keep searching, this coin will continue to inspire wonder, reminding us all that extraordinary things often come from the most ordinary beginnings.